Folks, there's buyers putting offers on homes that should not be buying. I'll tell you what I mean and then get into the latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending January 24th, 2024. Many of you have recently subscribed. Thank you for that. Those of you that enjoy the content and you watch every single week, consider subscribing. So, it's a little bit crazy out there, isn't it? If you are interested in real estate but not active, you're probably going to think some of this is a bit of a hype. However, those of you that are watching this channel and are actively buying and selling, you know what I'm talking about. It seems the market has just woken up all of a sudden, reverse to, or look back at the last 6 months, 8 months of last year, a little bit quiet, trending down or very soft. Not today. The first 3 weeks of January, we see buyers out of the gate wanting to buy, aggressively buying. We're seeing listings where a higher percentage of listings now where the pricing strategy is with an offer date. And we're seeing buyers show up and compete. We're seeing buyers removing conditions. They stopped that for a while, but now they're doing it again. They're removing financing conditions. They're removing home inspection conditions. But worst of all, they're getting extremely creative, like they did in the past. They're getting extremely creative in how they come up with the money to finance that purchase, to finance that house. We had so many problems the last time we were in this situation where the whole fear of missing out, FOMO, was a thing, and it's starting to be a thing again. There's a bit of a frenzy out there right now. Now, we're not yet seeing prices shooting through the roof 1 week to the next, just going sky high, but they are trickling up. Prices are starting to increase. We are seeing more and more buyers out there. We do feel the imbalance out there, even though listings are starting to pick up. The imbalance is there between buyers and listing. There's a shortage. And what do we got? I know, and I see it. Buyers, again, making the mistake last time that they're going to make the same mistake this time like they made last time. And that's buying a house you can't afford. Look, you go to the bank, you try to get your mortgage, or better yet, you go to a mortgage broker, you try to qualify for a mortgage, and they give you a number. You're not happy with the number because the house you like is $200,000 more. So you get extremely creative and you see the frenzy out there and your friends are buying houses and you want to buy a house too. But it's those people that get extra creative, those people that just second mortgages, those people that are right on the line of affording, are borrowing money from family and friends. Maybe your parents are retired and they got a house that with tons of equity and you pull money out of there. That's money that's got to get paid back. Just because maybe the loan to buy the home, some of that comes in a way that is maybe not in the books, you still got to pay it back. And you're right on the line. And if one little thing goes wrong, interest rate maybe goes the other way, or it doesn't come down as fast as you need it, or car breaks down and you got to buy a new car, or even a big thing happens like one of you gets laid off, loses your job. Boom, you're on the wrong side of this whole scenario. What if the home you just bought with no conditions, the appraisal doesn't come in and the bank says, sure, we'll give you the money, but we're appraising it $50,000 less, and you got to come up with the $50,000. And the seller doesn't want to hear, oh, you made a mistake. No problem. We'll just resell it to somebody else. You're on the hook for that. Where are you going to come up with that money? And everything I'm telling you, go back to the previous videos. A year ago, 2 years ago, I spoke about the same thing. And I think 10 years from now, every time this scenario comes up, we're going to have the same thing. Some people just don't learn from history. Buyers, if you can't afford it, maybe you shouldn't be buying it. And if you've got to get really, really creative, where you're on the borderline and everything's got to go 100% perfect for the next 5 years for you to afford this property, it's probably not going to go perfect. And today, and yesterday and over the last several months, we've seen so many horror stories of sellers having to sell where they're losing their shirt because they bought a home they had no business buying in the first place. So be careful. It's happening again. The fear of missing out. It's not hype. It's really happening. I'm going to get into the numbers shortly. But if you feel this video can help somebody you know, pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. So the experience, if you're in the streets buying and selling, bit of a frenzy right now. Let's see what the numbers tell us. Here's a quick summary. We've got a bunch of cities on here. Average sold prices for detached properties. Durham, Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto, right in the middle. Average sold price, $1,573,000. Then we have Markham, Vaughan, and Richmond Hill way up there at $1,952,000. Toronto is almost always in the middle. Every now and then it seems sometimes Mississauga jumps up, but we're focusing on the city of Toronto only for freehold properties. So detached, semis, towns for Toronto. I do have condos here just to show the spread between the condo of $690 and the detached of $1,573. There's an $883,000 price difference in average sold prices. That's a huge, it's almost $900,000. That's a big, big price difference. We're going to start off with detached for week ending January 24th. Again, this is for detached properties only, for the city of Toronto only. 79 detached properties were sold. 18 of those were at $2 million or more, and average sold price is $1,573,000. So here's the line, 2023, 2024. Sales consistently going up, which is what we expect. You come out of the new year almost every year. If we look back at last year, sales usually go up. The amount of property selling at $2 million usually go up. Average prices usually go up, headed towards the spring market. Well, that's what we're seeing here. So sales are up, $2 million or more sales are up. Average sold price, it's quite, it's a bit drastic actually how quickly it's going up. Now sitting at 1,573. Compared to last year, 1,573 is 4% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is, I've got 0% lower. That's because it's actually like 0.1% lower than what it was a year ago. So 0% change, but it is slightly lower. 1,376 is the median price, but both medium and average over the last couple of weeks have been increasing, trending up. 79 were sold, 41% sold at list price or more. So that's 32 homes sold at list price or more. And that percentage of 41, if we go back, it's been a while since we've been in the 40 percentile selling at list price or more. Listings up a little bit, 177 were listed. Active listings has been trending down, but this 1 week it bounced up just a little bit. And months of inventory, the new year, months of inventory has been trending down. We're now at 2.6 months of inventory, and prices, as you know, have been trending up. 20 is the average days on market, which is a lot lower than what it's been for a bunch of weeks now. That was the city of Toronto. Let's look at it broken down in different neighborhoods. We've got 9 different neighborhoods broken down here. For all the city, 2.6 is the months of inventory. Well, Scarborough sitting at 1.5 months of inventory. And we know a seller's market is below 3 months of inventory. This is half of that, 1.5 months of inventory. If you're looking to buy in Scarborough, very competitive. East York, Riverdale Beaches, 2.2 months of inventory. Etobicoke, 2.2 months of inventory. Half of the properties sold at list price or more in Etobicoke. There was 14 sold, so 7 sold at list price or more. Look, sales are not, we don't have a huge volume of sales. So when I say 50% sounds like a lot, well, it's half. Half the property sold at list price or more. 29% in the beaches area. But months of inventory, 2.2, 2.2, 1.5. These are competitive neighborhoods. There is a bit of a frenzy going on right there. I'm not telling you whether I think that's good or bad. It's what it is. And whether you feel it's a good thing, you feel it's a bad thing, I guess it kind of depends on which side of the table you're on, if you're buying or you're selling. Semi-detached properties, 37 of those sold at list price or more. 5 of them were at $2 million or more. Sales has been climbing. Property selling, not at 2 million, sorry, with the semis, I track it at $1.5 million or more. That's been increasing. Average price did come down to $1,156,000. 1,156 is 5% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is also 5% lower than where we were this time a year ago. Median price for semis is $1,050,000. Months of inventory, dropping like a rock. 3.6, 1.7, now we're sitting at 1 month of inventory. It's extremely competitive to buy a semi-detached property right now. Townhouses, 5 townhouses were sold. Townhouses, these are freehold townhouses in the city of Toronto. The volume is just not there to really get an accurate reading of what's, a true value of what the landscape. I mean, if you're talking 5, average sold price is a little over $1 million, $1,011,000. Compared to last year, it's 13% lower than where we were this time last year. There's townhouses you can buy for $700,000, $800,000. There's townhouses you could buy for $3 million. If we had a much higher volume of townhouses being sold, then you'd get, a more accurate reading of average prices. But when there's 5, are they on the higher side? Are they on the lower side? So I just want you to kind of be careful of how you read the townhouse numbers here. Months of inventory sitting at 3.8 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. Detached semis, towns. I do have condos for reference so you can see the months of inventory. Look, below 3 months is a seller's market. Between 3 and 5 months is a balanced market. Generally speaking, you're going to experience balanced market in some neighborhoods. Other situations, it is going to be a seller's market. As far as properties or selling at list price or more, detached is 41%, semis 41%, towns is 20%, condos 21% selling at list price or more. But let's look at the semis and detached. You're going to experience 1/3 to 40%, in some neighborhoods 50% or more, selling at list price or more. That's what's happening right now in the city of Toronto. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.